was taking physics. I was taking physics again, is what I mean. My freshman year, I took biology and chemistry and physics. My sophomore, I took advanced biology and physics again because there's nothing else in high school. I hadn't thought about my career just yet, even though I was leaning toward the planets and the stars even then. My high school didn't offer astronomy, so instead I was taking physics for the 4th year in a row. And that's when I saw her for the very first time. Zoe had huge eyes, gigantic. She'd always wear this bright green or dark brown or lavender eyeshadow, and that always made her eyes seem larger than they actually were. She looked around the room that one morning, and her eyes reminded me of the heavens, which I'd already come to love. I stared right at her, and she said, "I am so in the wrong room," and turned around and walked out. I didn't think. I followed her right outside into the hallway outside my physics classroom. The bell had sounded for class to begin, but I didn't budge. Zoe had caused me to be late for class for the very first time in my life. David Nicholas once said, "Promises are like the stars. The darker the night, the brighter they shine." Kyle Culp is an eager and excited young student of science with a passion and a true love. What more can you ask for? But Kyle soon finds himself having to face the darkest of nights. So he looks to the stars to find that one last glimmer of hope to help him through the darkness. Although the planets, the stars, and the other cosmic phenomena may seem far away to the eye alone, to Kyle, they are so close, so close. He can touch them. Touch, by Toni Press-Coffman. It was impossible to stop looking at her once I had started. I mean, I would come to school really early, right? And I would find Zoe, and I would just stare at her. And looked, and looked, and looked, and looked at her. She looked back. Astounding. I was always in the shadows, never in the forefront, not often in the light kind of guy, right? So even when I noticed that Zoe was looking back, I didn't know what to do. I mean, she was always surrounded by people, right? And one morning, she stood up straight. She walked across the quad, and she spoke to me. "I learned your name, you know." That's what she said. How'd you do that? I liked all the idea that it was never going to be cool, so I wasn't going for cool. I was trying more for call. She'd asked the physics teacher my name. "Kyle Culp, right?" That's what she said. Now the guy's backed off. I mean, she made it clear to me. She made it so clear. She had this way of making things clear. "This is Kyle," she'd say. "He's with me." The next day was the first day that I kissed her. We were walking in the parking lot after school, talking, mostly laughing, and then she asked, "Don't science guys kiss girls too?" We got married the Christmas after our high school graduation. December 22nd, winter solstice. Our decision to marry made our parents insane. I mean, her folks and her older brother and sister just thought I was odd. And I mean, I guess I can understand where they were coming from. Zoe was so vibrant, right? And I was much more introverted. Now, that's changed about me now, you know. Zoe really coaxed more of me into the light. About a month before our 6-year anniversary, she and I gave Thanksgiving. And Zoe said she wanted to have this coffee drink she used to make, right, with a triple sec and whipped cream. Only we didn't have any whipped cream, so she said she'd run to the 24-hour market to get some, and I was only vaguely listening, and she said she'd be right back. And she's gone 45 minutes, and I don't even notice. Her sister notices. And I mean, this is unforgivable, because that is a long time, right? And in that time, I should have. The police wouldn't look for her until at least 24 hours after she'd gone missing. 16 days after Thanksgiving. A man's dog found Zoe's bag buried in his backyard. I'm gonna have to look at her.
smiling? Could it just be an anomaly? Could it have happened after she died? Zoe, are you smiling? When a dying star collapses, its light is so great that it outshines its entire galaxy, which is as it should be. One final blaze of all-encompassing light, then nothing, then death. Spilling of stardust following a supernova. That idea always thrilled her. I mean, some night she'd look out the window and she'd say, I want to see a supernova now. Later that year, in early July, the police arrested 2 men for rape. And when they looked through their van, they found pictures of Zoe. I suppose I should be grateful these criminals were so stupid. Zoe was alive in the pictures. She didn't look hurt, but she wasn't smiling. I talked to each one of them separately. Each of them could have said no, but agreed. Which I didn't understand at first, but now I realize it was Zoe. Zoe was smiling. Zoe was saying, I'm dying, Kyle. This is what my life is now. I'm dying. I asked the first guy if he noticed that Zoe was smiling, and he said no, he didn't. He was so young. Still a teenager. He told me that Zoe said that she would have liked it if one of them would have stayed with her until she died. She would be grateful. And I mean, Zoe needed to be alone, right? This guy was just totally spooked by that. He told me he didn't know why. He just grabbed her purse and just ran with it. Just went off with it. So the other guy stayed with her. He was close to her age, mid-20s. When this guy entered the visitation room, he sat down rigid and fixed his gaze. He didn't speak. I asked him if he noticed if Zoe was smiling, and he said yes, he did. And he said that her smile made him furious, and he asked her what the hell was so funny. And she said, funny? He sat back down in his chair. And he stared at me. He looked right through me. He said he didn't want to piss me off. But Zoe was one weird chick. He said she lay there dying. She remembered something about the stars. And I threw the telephone to the plexiglass separating us, and I said, did you touch her? Did you touch her when she was dying? And there it was. He flinched. He looked at me. Did you touch her? She reached her arm out to me when she was dying. He told me. Yeah, I guess I better touch her. I said, we met in our physics class. The possibility exists that I will live one day to see Superman. Did you know that? According to scientific projections, it should be at least 30 years at most before that most brilliant light imaginable just blankets the sky. You know what? It could happen next year. It could happen next week. It could even happen tomorrow.